Yes, of course. Jason Fair. Shazza, what's happening, mate? All right?
Just chilling, mate.
Too much I carry on in here, that.
Nah, it's great though.
What were you up to before the show today?
Couldn't possibly say.
I'm telling Nation what you were up to.
Shower.
Before the shower.
What were you watching before the shower?
Before the...
Just watching
Mature to make your mouth.
I didn't watch any of them.
Oh my God.
Stepson was mentioned. What was it?
Good on you.
He's been player of the month this month, isn't he?
Oh, Kevin Kyle.
We're going to interview at the end of it.
Are you right?
End of the month, 100%.
Good.
Right, lads, before we get on, we need to mention Grosvenor quickly. Get to it, the way new sign up offer. Bet £5, get £25 free. Brilliant, that
Any sport,
Any sport as well, aye. Obviously, then Flan, see Ferrari's back.
Oh, Ferrari are
You put
back.
that on, you don't get double your odds, so.
Who won the Grand Prix?
Leclerc.
Leclerc, good lad.
Aye, Steve, innit?
Yeah.
Leclerc. Steve Clark. He's good, wasn't he?
No, Stevie Clark 100% drives a fucking bashed up Nissan, didn't he?
100%.
He bought your Megane off you at Rangers, innit? Sign up at gsport.com/open goal. Big news, Condora. We've got
Flying.
new name, new badge, and a new manager.
New manager?
Keith the American Texas Tycoon's moved upstairs. He's putting money in.
Forgot about Keith.
So they're now called Red Star Condora.
I knew that was fitting somewhere.
You can imagine what the badge is. And they've got a new manager, so Harry, Barry, Gary, Larry and Mary are now managed by Maurizio Sarri. Big Keith.
How did you get Sarri in?
Big I'll tell you.
Smoke fags.
What's that?
Big Keith.
Smoke fags.
Held interviews, right? Usually it's the coaching badges, your number of coaching badges that you've been through, but it was the number of red stars that you've been through.
Bendy, let's see the badge again.
Shows your badge.
Shows the new badge. So Sarri was seen smoking something in the back of your taxi. It's a bit bigger than a fag. Some of these.
You know, he was smoking the fags when you blow the rings, he was blowing stars.
So well done, Kindora.
Condoric's flying.
Maurizio
So what is it? You've got too many
Oh,
now?
I've got too many, aye.
Good.
14,
14?
14,
Two
aye.
last week?
Who's getting packed, Larry?
Oh, I'm not getting them. They're just getting parked. We're obviously looking at ones for the future. I just need to whittle it down to 10.
Right.
SFA guidelines, one coach to 10 kids. So,
But Sarri's there, I know.
sorry, well,
Do you smoke? Do you do you know?
Smoking and
Sarri's
baiting
obviously
rolls.
a bad influence on the kids.
Aye, he's smoking too much.
He's on the smoking, I don't mind because that's just one of these things. But it's when he goes out of the shower, man. He's that big red star, right? It's no good.
But Sarri does.
Big Italian.
So the Italian red star. But no, flying mate. Coach is brilliant. Coach
He's
is
a
good.
Texas.
Nah, I didn't go to Texas today.
He's an accent.
Everybody keeps mentioning I can't wait for the big Texas fucking
Sheriff.
Texas sheriff. I should roll up one week with the sheriff outfit on and just fucking come through with the fucking pistols.
Last night that was for Andy there. Shows your big badge. It's good. I loved that.
Do you know this part of Jazza? Kev's Red Star.
Bits and pieces I've been hearing what you're talking about, but
Aye. It's a lot of shite, honestly.
You might not see it today, but you'll fucking definitely hear it.
Smell it or not? You fucking smell it alright.
What about Boca? Boca, they're in a bit of trouble in the RSPCA. There was a sleepy alligator in the chain.
A
Tell us the story then, Bob.
multi-millionaire swimming about like a crocodile in the pitch, wasn't he? What is he doing? We've got a multi-millionaire doing it as a coach and he's playing crocodile games, wasn't he?
He was pretending to be a crocodile for 45 minutes.
What age group?
What, really? Was it
18-year-olds, he was doing it with 18-year-olds.
Under 21. They're doing well, but isn't they? They're listening to him.
Tell him about the wee legend that runs
This
the
wee guy, mate, primary five, he's running about the whole game. I'm like, that size came at me, I was like, mate, what's that wee guy's on? So I caught him and he's like, mate, he's running about with a wallet he's on. Full session.
playing football with a wallet.
With a fucking wallet he's on.
Mate, not just a wee wallet, a big fucking chunky thing, man.
Why?
Because he said to me,
The Velcro ones.
it was a big brown leather one, wasn't it? Right in your dad's pocket. But he said to me, I was like, that's what you holding a wallet for? And he went like, well, I've not paid you the last few weeks. So I've got the money here. So I went, well, just give us the money and put the wallet down. And he went like, no, I've only got a £20 note, so unless you've got change, I'm not getting it. I didn't have change, so I didn't get the money.
So he's not paid you for 3 weeks.
But it's, mate, how, do you know how those I know yours is a wee bit, Condurin's a bit different. Well, but see, I know Condurin's a bit different than Boca, but what amazing, the tournament we had somebody from Royston, me, Frankie, obviously for Steps, and then somebody for Lassie for Anderson, and they don't know each other, but then you see them competing together. That is amazing. All different backgrounds, unbelievable. But I'm producing.
So what are you saying to my boys, like the privilege when they're
No, I just mean like different backgrounds, been brought up different stuff, but when they come to football,
what is in different? What better or worse?
We are trying to say is football unites all.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. And it's great to see because they don't know each other before they start, but then half an hour you see them they're all celebrating together or trying to stop it and cheer them high five. So what a job I'm doing.
Do your boy still go down?
He loves it, mate.
Who, Frankie, the oldest one?
Frankie loves it.
This is why I'd recommend because
Him and Youth Man are on fire again. They're a good wee partnership.
But what I noticed with Frankie was he was always a good player, but now he's like an animal on the pitch, isn't he?
3Ks, mate.
Say crocodile.
But
Jazz's wee girls, fancy it, Jazz. They're
Andy and Size come down Thursday if you fancy it, finishing 5 to 6.
What her name's in, yeah.
Is she good, isn't it?
I don't know if she's any good, but she likes watching it, so.
What primary? What primary?
Just like alligators. Just like alligators.
Aye, she.
There you go.
There we go, Duncan.
doing, aye.
Get her to Duncan session, aye. You've rocked up in a jogging suit today, so get your arse out there for our race.
No, I can't race.
No, we're going to do a challenge that's in his favour. Because they're going to tongue somebody's arsehole.
It's not here, that's not his favour.
I can't race today.
No, what about an arm wrestle? I was thinking.
No, I can't race today, boys. I was involved in a wee accident.
You check yourself?
No, I was in an accident. Someone
You alright?
stiffed my neck.
Was that serious?
Well, what about this then? If you can't run, why don't we do the yum challenge?
Oh, aye.
That's a challenge.
That's a great challenge. You can do a yum. Quickest to eat a yum.
One yum. You can eat a yum in a day.
No, but then
Quickest to finish.
I'll time it.
What? No, well, do you know what we should do here, right? I'm serious here, right? I'm not just doing this to put it off. We'll do it in 20 minutes, right? Because we'll give people at home, see when they're watching this, so the guy and the missus are sitting watching it, they can put bets on the new until 20 minutes.
Who's supplied the yum Si?
Bertie Olds.
Superb.
Perfect, mate.
My mate's fully old. I bet your house for
You enjoyed the bacon rolls last week, didn't you?
Bacon rolls were decent. What we got this week?
What do you want what is this? What sauce?
Is that for yum yum?
That's some brown sauce, yeah, yum.
You want a bacon roll? I think there will be. Oh, look at that. Do you want one?
Yeah, I think we had it.
You got your hair cut as well.
I like it.
Had a wee trim, put a wee bit of spray on the small, so the ball patch is looking amazing.
Who done that for you?
Right.
It's good, big man.
Aye, what's that? Polish?
What spray?
I'll get you some. Don't worry.
You look well, mate.
Just spray it for your height and it just makes you look like you've got hair. Absolutely magnificent.
How have you kept yourself in good nick when you were no training and stuff like that?
I'm no, mate.
Are you know that?
Actually, you're looking good, Nick, to be fair.
Aye, that was just the stress. The job.
Aye.
No
Is it
sleeping,
really?
No eating. Nah, I don't know.
Did you join in training?
I did for a wee while, but I'm going to get my knee done in 3 weeks. It's gone.
What,
Your knees have been
again?
gone for fucking about
I know, that's what
20 years.
I think that's about the.
Well, did you know each other? Did you play with each other, right?
Aye, I love it, aye.
Boy coming through.
I was younger. What year?
Aye.
2009 I left, I think.
Do you remember
2008.
I think
No,
I played
you-
against you, James. Livy Coventry.
Oh,
James.
Aye.
James, is it? Jimmy?
Aye.
Aye, 0-0.
You must have played well, Kevin. No.
I think that might have got him a move take on. You know,
That's how I got my
You
move.
must have been unbelievable that day. You must have marked me out the game. That's what maybe sealed the deal.
See the first American you'd played again? Is he farting?
Like Keith Kyle.
No, I remember going to Livy with Chris Coleman because I think it was on the game I actually played.
Oh, right, so you were playing for Coventry and then they
against
signed
Livy,
you?
and then he went to, I left Coventry and I think he went to, no long after that, 2009 would that be?
Alright, so that would have been the summer 2000.
Aye.
And I went in the last day of the window.
That's right, there you go.
No, that would have been summer of 2008. I went in the
Aye,
February 2009.
that's right, I left January 2009.
There you
But
go.
you were still
It's
there.
not worrying.
Aye, I was still there. I can't even remember. that.
Jazzy coming through.
Is he good, Jazzy?
Aye.
Aye. No, we had a great young group. Younger than me anyway, like you'd Snoddy, Andy, Dawes, a lot of them, and Murray Davidson throw into that as well. They were all young.
Can't I put Murray Davidson in with you
Lee
boys?
Griffiths, mate.
Aye, Griff.
The Griff was there, aye.
Aye.
Nah, but when you look at even taking out Muswick, he's went on today.
No, aye, did good career.
Still,
He was an animal, Murray
how he's
Davidson.
still not killed. He's selling a challenge, I don't know. See the way he goes in for headers and not, he's going to, don't know, header somebody's foot off or do something.
He was like that,
It's just dangerous.
He does somebody's fitter.
He is, like, he doesn't care, and you're, look, he's like that from the start, just
Aye,
even training.
It showed you 4 highlights of Muzz on Sports Scene at the weekend. Did you see it?
No.
Every single time his nose was brushing the mud in the flare. Like, just diving headers about that much half a gun.
He is a warrior, isn't he? He loves
Aye,
it.
yes, to be fair.
Right, Jazzy, how's life been since you've left Dundee? You're living the life, aren't you? Was it Archerfield you were at?
Aye.
Oh.
I was up there for the week, just
Stick that pie up in the bank and I'll do what I like.
No, James,
That's the pie up gone. That's a feel for a week.
No, we were up there and had a wee bit of, took the kids up, got them something different today. I actually went down as soon as got the sack, booked to go down and get the surgery done, flew down, never had COVID the full time, going through, or the testing we're obviously doing, never once had it. Lying it, so went and seen the surgeon, lying the surgery on the Wednesday morning, lying the Tuesday night, phone call at 7 o'clock at night, your PCR was positive.
Can I go?
No symptoms or nothing?
Nothing. Sitting there like, nah, you're joking. Like I'm starting to argue with him on the phone. I've not got COVID. No, so I've got to wait the 7 weeks now. So I think I've got another 3 weeks to go.
What are you getting done?
Everything.
What, your body?
Yeah, it's hair in it.
That wee baldy patch first. No, he's doing quite a big one to my knee, the fade injury that stopped me playing. But
was that when you're against Dundee United?
That's right.
I take it you're struggling like in normal day-to-day life with it,
But now it's at the point where I need to get it done. It's been needing done probably for a couple of years, but obviously in the job I couldn't get it done, so going to take the time. But see, to be fair, I'll be honest with you, the first couple of weeks I was a bit embarrassed to come in out the house because you're meeting people and you've lost your job. And
what do you mean, aye?
Genuinely, like that's been serious and never had that as a player really. I left Hibs, signed for Dundee and the next day with you.
So you did.
A good day that was, wasn't it?
Best day.
What happened there then?
Strange what we'd done in the motor that day, wasn't it? First time we met each other. Don't know why we just got carried away, didn't we?
Beat the heat with the on. No, so had that for a wee while and then, to be fair, some good people phone you and tell you to get out and get yourself about. And
who phoned you? Who was good with you?
probably one of the best. A lot of them phoned, but one of the best probably was Derek McInnes.
Was he?
That's been honest.
What a guy.
He phoned up and I don't know, he just asked me what I'd been doing. I says, I've just been lying watching box sets. He's like, just get out of the house. Like, you're embarrassed, like, get out of the house, who cares? Done a good job, go and face people.
Were you embarrassed?
Surely you
Was
look back at the job you've done at Dundee though, and how could you be embarrassed?
I don't know, probably having that, that's what Derek said, having that conversation with him, and he obviously lost his job at Bristol City as well, and he just says go back and reflect on it and you'll think differently, which I have now. Like to go out, that championship's a nightmare to get out of, as we've seen with bigger clubs in Dundee, no disrespect, but the times we were down, we had Dundee United, we had Hearts, and to get out of the league at the first chance because of the season before where the playoffs get cancelled, first chance to get out of the league, and we're still with a fighting chance of staying in the division. They still do have at the minute, but at the point where we're second bottom, quarter final of both cups this season, so when you put all that into the equation, then we're proud of what we've done up there.
Are you itching to get back in? No. Just yet.
Hey, you know, Jazz, get back in, man.
No, like,
Take time away and just see how it goes.
Honestly, it was full on for.
Can you even enjoy life?
I know everybody says it, and I heard your one with Paul, and Paul was relentless with his work rate, Paul Hartley. And I go the opposite, and people disagree with us. I think you can work too hard and put too much into it.
Thomas said that, Kevin Thompson said that as well.
And it takes over everything. And as I say, I've got a 2.5-year-old that I'd hardly seen. Like she was born the day we played Cowden Beef in it was Peterhead, the day we drew at Dens in the cup.
Was that good that day?
You were brilliant, I heard. But you ran the game, but that one was on Dave. Dave took the team that day.
Oh, sorry, he did, that's right.
Every other time we played, we won. when I took the team. So that one was on Dave.
Oh, that's right, you had your girl that day, I remember that.
I hadn't seen her and I felt a wee bit guilty about stuff like that. So spending a wee bit of time with that, and I don't know what it was, I felt, on it, looking back now, I just worked too hard and like you'd be waking up in the middle of the night, right, who am I going to leave out? And it was my first job, so like, will I be better the next time? I'd hope so.
Would you say it's completely different as being a player? Or?
Aye, no, it's like,
I can imagine.
And even I thought that the bit, and Si will get a bit of this as well, I thought even having taken the under 18s and even doing a wee bit of first team coaching with Paul when I was injured, I thought, it's alright, but you could still get away. Like, the under 18s was great, you played on a Friday night, you had the weekend off. So you had a life, and by that, the first team job, like, I forgot you've got a life outside football. Like, it was generally just all the time. And then you win a game, which was few and far between this season, unfortunately, but you win a game, and it's not even...
Can't really enjoy it.
Just thinking, right, we're playing next week, right, we need to do this, and I'm going, switch off. But so you're consciously saying to yourself, you're doing too much, you need to switch off, but
you just can't.
You can't. Then you get beat and that's you can't sleep. You're just lying there and going,
Fuck
Thinking about it all week.
Good luck, my man.
The idea of being a manager is as footballers or ex-footballers, whatever it is, the idea sounds great, but see the reality sometimes it's a lot of pressure. You need a big mind to like overcome the anxiousness, the constant, the thinking all the time, like having a higher winning and not getting too carried away with enjoying that to the next week losing. It's like we never see that, do we? Like we win, we go to get a baby. We lose, we go to get a baby. The manager's sitting there, he's going to take the flak for every single time.
Yeah.
When I win at Condor, we will definitely enjoy it regardless.
But I think
enjoy it.
I think that bit is your first job manager, so that might, more experience you get with that, you might deal with that better and stuff, do you know what I mean? So,
well, if you were going to give a young manager any advice, what would it be? One thing?
The opposite of what I just said. Just work as hard as you can. I know that sounds daft, but no, because then you'll find out yourself. I think you've got to experience it, in my opinion. Like, and only now I'm looking back, I think it's right what Kev says. It is daunting to go in and as a player you're away, whatever, and playing's hard. Like we know it's no disrespect in playing, but when you're the manager, your phone can be going at 10 o'clock at night because, COVID was tough. I had that into it, but you're planning training sessions and then you find somebody's not well the next morning, everything's changing.
So you need to change your full session.
Everything's going all the time, or but I do think the experience will help any young manager going in and I think that's what will help me, having that experience and hopefully the realisation and being able to be honest with myself that I did work too hard. And people will say you can't work too hard. Well, I disagree. I think
you did
put that too much into it to the point where I had no life away from Dundee Football Club, and that wasn't fair.
I think that's something that like Pep spoke about that though, isn't he? Where they say why was you only at Barca for 5 years, whatever it was, and then when Bayern, why did you leave after only 4 years? And he says because you can burn yourself. It's 24/7, like every year.
He just went lived in New York or something for a year.
They're already saying the end of this sort of Man City contract. He's probably not going to extend again. They'll take another year or so.
You think you'll be like that? Because you'll be full on.
You'll take 10 years off.
You're a thinker. You're a thinker. It's not just like I've only known you the last 3-4 years, but even like the podcast and stuff, prepping and things like that, and your interviews, you think about how well it could go, how well it could go. So you've got to be professional about it, and you'll probably drive yourself bonkers. But you need to find. I think that you say you need to find somewhere in the middle that you can release yourself from those pressures of, but. And like you say, until you experience it, we're never really going to.
You've experienced it, but aren't you big man every week?
What's that?
Durham. That's a tough job.
That's a tough gig.
That's a tough gig.
See the pressure on a Friday night when you're getting the WhatsApp group ready and you're writing, thinking about what you're going to say to the parents.
It's hard to concentrate when you're like that, looking at the badge constantly. Hard to actually watch the game when you're just standing there like that.
See that one last week?
What happened there? You score? No interest.
Try to lick your badge. I think we'd be
Xavi's back! Barcelona are back!
Brilliant.
There's a manager.
Absolutely brilliant. But in fact, there's not been the same with Foot Barca. The best team ever was Pep's.
What about them last night?
Pep's team.
I think he could be better, Xavi.
Well, I think this team is obviously nowhere near as good as Pep's team he had. But the job he's doing in Koeman, what he butchered Barcelona for about a year. That guy. I don't know what he was doing.
Terry Koeman.
Same to Hibs, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, mate, my favourite story. I know you told it on your interview, but
I've not heard
have
this
you heard this about Sean Murdoch?
No.
You heard this? Terry Butcher. If you could be any person in the world, who would you be? All the boys are saying Tiger Woods and fucking Robert De Niro, Denzel Washington, and John Murdoch says Duncan Barrington.
But just a multi-millionaire Scotsman.
What does Terry Butcher do that? Does Terry Butcher ask?
I think so.
Who was it you were missing at Dundee?
No, I should have went round the full dressing room and says, if you were going to be an animal, what would you be?
Paul McGill would be an Alsatian, wouldn't he?
Oh,
He looks like one.
A lion or whatever, I don't know. But wee Louis, I think it was wee Louis, did he not say he'd be a poodle or a Jack Russell or something? You look for Louis just because of that.
That's amazing.
He looked at me because I says I would be a Labrador. He says, a Labrador? You're the captain, you should be the leader, the lion. He says, well, why would you be a Labrador? I says, I've got a Labrador and I love my dog.
That's
What 5 dogs would we be?
You'd be a Dalmatian, they've got all the...
You cheeky bastard. Why did I even ask that? Why did I ask? Fucking hell.
You'd be a poodle on it with that hair.
Aye.
What would you be?
Nice.
Great Dane, the big man.
Sausage dog.
What would you be?
I don't know what dog
What's an ugly wee fucker? Pitbull or something like that. Pitbull.
Wee chihuahua.
Wee pitbull, wee chihuahua. What jazz he's a?
But what was the other?
Labrador.
He's not accepting it anymore.
Andy's obviously a wee British bulldog, yeah?
I heard did you not ask another question?
Well, the other one was tell us something you don't know about each other. That was when the Hef says he's got 2 greyhounds he walks.
14 mile a day or something. Any of you ever come across Paul Heffernan?
No.
Best guy ever played football, mate.
Before you played up front?
Aye, for Kelly.
Mate, the best.
Caster down there for
You'll not meet a better guy in the world. And you could travel the world far and wide and you'll never meet a better guy.
I'm joking, Si. See, when I used to play against him when he was at Kelly, like, you know the way he looks, I always thought he was steaming. Like, looking at him, he's moving. He was a good player. He was a good player. But he just had that way about him, so chilled, wasn't he? He wasn't about it, didn't he want to argue with you? Now sometimes you try and get people to argue because if
That reminds me of a cow.
you know that good
Cow
player, he just look at you. Well, it's like that, no bother. And then so when he came to Dundee, he came to Hibs first, sorry. He was great and like just travelling up with him. And then just when he came to Dundee, just brilliant guy.
After Magnus, didn't he?
Aye. Oh, when he went for a drink, he could drink, man, Jesus.
I had a shocker at Dundee, right? Every game I was shite and I'd be sitting in the dressing room after the game fucking like that. What has happened, man? And he'd come up to me and go, I remember you were the best player at Swindon, you used to rock that county ground, didn't you?
It's the last
And then he'd just walk
It's the last thing about it.
No, but who else would do that, mate? And then he'd be like, you're a fucking good player. Don't worry about the sun will still rise in the morning.
That was his saying. Like,
Sun will still rise. He was
I remember,
brilliant.
right?
He'd always just give you a wee bit to make you feel good about yourself.
you're right, Hef, it doesn't matter. I'll start worrying when the sun doesn't come up in the morning. So I'm gone, that's it. Don't get too high, don't get too low, but don't flatline either.
Bro, he scored 2 in the derby, didn't he? And
One.
you think he came on for 5 minutes and no played any part in the game, but he just sat at the end like that.
No bad.
That was one goal.
Was it one goal?
Aye, so I scored one.
Oh, sorry,
So
mate.
we've took one away to me. Hef.
Was there any other answers the boys gave to that question?
Who would you be? Who would you be then? If you could be anybody.
Oh, it's like, I'm
who
actually
would you
meaning,
be?
his man was the man.
You've already said James Forrest.
No, fuck yeah, yeah.
That's what you said.
I would be, he'd be up there. But see the man you just said that.
Alan knew about it.
Oh, no.
Tell us
Forrest
something.
now.
Tell us something they don't know about you. And he said about 2 greyhounds. What?
Aye, come back to it. It ended up getting a wee bit serious, that one. Like, and people saying stuff. But Ben Williams, the goalkeeper, says I'm a qualified vet. Well, you know what, as a vet, then what are you doing? Go
That's
vet.
brilliant, man.
I don't know, no, Hess was the best. So I just knew he was going to come out with something.
I've got 2 great.
That's genius, isn't it?
Who would you be? So I want to know this. Who you'd be? Who would you be?
Who would
Anyone in the
you be?
world?
Who would you be? Oh, it's a
Who
good
did you say
question.
Tiger Woods? No, I think Hef said Tiger Woods.
No, I think I said Tiger
Do you say
Woods.
Tiger
I
Woods?
would say Tiger Woods as well, because man's he's a proper legend.
Big Shaq.
Was that who you'd be, Big
Yeah,
Shaq?
legend, didn't he?
What about you?
DiCaprio, I think.
DiCaprio?
Aye.
Oh, good choice.
Sign you with somebody left field here.
Murray, Graham Murray.
Gary Lineker in it for you. You love Gary Lineker, don't
Gary Lineker.
you? So you want to be in it?
My boy,
Who would you be?
who would I be if I could be anyone? I
He'll
would
be weird. He'll be a poet.
No, I'd be John Cooper Clark.
You love that guy.
Never heard him.
Poet face Alford, mate. He's a genius, man.
He's just been weird, mate.
No, I love him. He's so funny.
People start laughing.
Witty, quick,
This is
clever,
him bringing
knows everything about
sensitive
everything,
side
mate. He's brilliant. He wrote the Arctic Monkeys, is one of the Arctic Monkeys albums.
That's people start laughing.
Nah.
You're crowd
No,
watching
this is
that.
not-
No, I'd be the guy that's married to Kate Moss. That's who I'd be.
Pete Doherty.
No, Pete Duncan.
Right side before we
We've hit
go.
100,000.
Oh, wow, unbelievable. But hindsight,
That's
a big shout out to the producer. Unbelievable. 100k, well done.
It's the biggest sausage fest channel on YouTube.
Oh, 100%. It's just 100,000 guys in it.
99,000 in Susie Slane. Something like
She's got her own channel as well, isn't it? How many is she on?
Does you get a few in there? I need to be careful with them.
Keep subscribing though. We don't want to just sit at 100,000.
Well, we're back in the next.
Not here to take part of it.
No, but next benchmark's 250 in it, 250k.
250. Thursday boys subscribed.
Hi, please. I
Says
think
it's
the
the same amount of
Wi-Fi.
birds that they've been with.
Yeah, fibre goes in next week, so.
100,000 birds. We've been with 100,000
Honey's in it.
honey babies in it.
What size? We'll give that wee period of the betting, the wife and the husband sitting in betting, and me and Kev. So will we do the challenge?
Yes, let's go.
Challenge, aye,
Here we
please.
go.
Drink the ended up.
Who drinks the best?
Oh my god, orders fudge donuts.
That'll be
That'll be better, that'll be nice.
That'll be nice.
Fudge donut.
It looks like it could be a red star.
I see that in the one on the ball.
Right, so it's
Where's the Nook and Durrett badge?
quickest to eat the donut.
You want to go first and second?
No, two
Oh,
should do
go
it at the same time.
same time.
Same time.
What's inside?
Jazzy, what
Fudge.
one?
No.
But see, the thing is, right?
It's a fudge donut, Kev.
Kev, see when me and you, the both of us are off the open goal and we're working, and we'll look back at this, we'll be devastated with ourselves.
I'll be a bacon roll while he's
Just,
eating
I'll tell
it.
you what, I'm going to say a wee quick one on the bacon roll. Bacon's brilliant, salty.
The bacon does look good. I'm going to have one.
Salty's your favourite, isn't it?
I love it salty.
Right.
Look, it's a wee
Quickest to
bit.
eat the fudge donut, ready?
Massive.
Oh, wait a minute, I've got a lovely tooth here.
Right, wait, before you go, Jazzy, who's your money on?
Right here. Got a bit of tomato sauce on it.
I actually fancy Paul.
No, do you really?
Aye.
No chance.
Look at
It's
he's
getting fucking
getting
drunk.
right now.
It's getting
Trying to
dealt
think of
with.
technique. How can I eat this quick?
Heel and heels, mate.
I don't usually eat as big as that.
I'm saying he's a 2-biter with this, Kev.
No chance.
3 bites.
Oh!
I'm just checking.
On your marks.
3.
But wait a minute, wait. Is there an angle we can get? 'Cause I think my yellow teeth could get caught here. That
You're
cream,
fine.
look.
Right, they're the same colour anyway, it's fine.
Are you ready?
Look at that, look. Watch this side.
Right, stop
Look,
delaying,
side, watch
man.
this, look. Oh.
Right, 3, 2, 1. He's chin, mate. Big man, you need to get back at it quick.
I fucking came.
Hurry up.
Mate, that could not have landed any of it.
You're a fucking hoover.
Come on, Paul.
There's my DHL just been delivered.
It's not for him
Come on.
today, innit?
Come on, Kev, you're there. You've done him.
Who fucking did
You need to, by the way, you need to eat that. That's not finished until you eat that cream as well.
But you need to take your shots off and eat.
Eat your shorts. You need to eat your shorts as well, Kev.
Yes, big man.
Wait, no, it needs to be swallowed.
That's not swallowed, aye. Shows him it.
Kevin Kyle, we have a winner.
Tell you what, that was nice.
But another one, big man.
Get it out here.
Slaney's going to be sick. Right, it's a race now. It's a race now, you've done that.
Can't believe that came out the other side. Why did I not see that happen?
Slaney, he's beat you by quite a bit because you're still not even finished.
So fucking good.
No, he's done.
Ah, brilliant.
Round of applause for Kevin Kyle.
Kevin.
That's us, 1-1.
1-1.
You've got Andy's challenge at the end.
What is that? Have we got a challenge
Well,
there?
We'll find a challenge at the end for you.
You and
Andy,
Gowser always had a challenge with each other, didn't you and Paul McGowan?
Nah, see who can make who quit.
Quick,
No, say give up.
mate, fight in the back of the motor for Dundee to Glasgow, full white wrestling. And then go and train, mate. I was thinking, they must be fucking knackered,
Not the
man.
best one was in what we used to do to be sweating. I've just said that shower again. I need to go and get another one. You want any tears falling out your mouth?
Yeah,
Say
sorry.
it to him.
They used to wrestle him and Gowser for Dundee to Glasgow, mate, full way an hour and a half.
Actual battle each other.
Right.
Did Paul McGowan ever make you quit?
No.
Never.
No.
Did you make him quit?
Right. You know what I did? I DC'd out the window.
But he could be a regular guest if he doesn't go back to management.
Well, he doesn't want it, does he? So he's here.
He'd be brilliant.
Oh, like, made them quit, beat the Heat as well.
But beat the heat, I remember you made him quit beat the heat.
What's that?
That was
What?
funny,
Beat the
mate.
Heat.
What has been
They put the heating on and turn the windies up.
You're not allowed to take any of your...
No water or nothing.
No what? I'm not allowed to take any of your clothes off. You've just got to sit full way down the road. I think about 3 years later, I'm the manager of that club.
I've never played him, but I love him. Honestly,
He's
I
a
love
best
him.
guy, mate.
Well, I'm starting
And
to...
he just,
That was, and I think this mention, everybody keeps saying I played him because he was my pal and all that, but as you know, like the people. But,
Social media and that.
best player.
aye, I heard the day he's a player that played the most. I think the manager 106 games. He played the most. I think it was something like 93 of them, or 93 appearances and that. But you look back, every manager played him. The game changed, in my opinion, yesterday against Rangers when he was off because he was brave to keep the ball. But
He's never been a sub anybody's played, mate.
He'd be the first name in my team sheet.
you always get a manager that goes in and thinks he's not got legs, he's not got this, he's not got that, but he's never had that. But what you do is you trust him with the ball, and when he takes, like, particularly against Celtic or Rangers, and it's Hearts even this season with the way they play, like when they're dominating you, own the ball so much, you need people that are brave to keep the ball. That's why he was always in my team, and that's why he was always in Neil McCann's team, Jim McIntyre's team, and Paul's team, all the way through. Like, he always made the teams, like, and people would come, normally the new managers I always found that would come in and think, he's past it, and then see within 2 or 3 days even, you see him in training.
Best trainer every day, mate.
Best trainer I've ever seen. Like, consistently every single day. And you talk about people that go on to people as well. I know you spoke about it, Slaney, but he does it for the right reasons, in my opinion. But then, when you walk out of the dressing room, it's done. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he's just...
He ended you, didn't he?
Aye, that was my career done as soon as he opened his mouth. Just couldn't do it.
Why not?
I know, I don't know.
Did you ever shout back at him? He doesn't mind you shouting back
No,
at him.
I did, but I don't know, I just almost felt like...
He likes it. Again, 250th start for Dundee yesterday.
I heard that.
What it was?
Lenny used to send him in all the time.
Aye.
When he used to send him in,
All the time, for training.
I remember slacking at the pull and say, like, who the fuck are you? He was shouting at all the first team players. We were like
First team
18.
as well, aye.
Stop training.
But he doesn't do it, to be fair, I know I'm saying that, he doesn't do it, he does it in the right way. Do you know what I mean? He does it because he
I
wants to
wouldn't
win.
mind that no matter what age you are. If you're in and you're shouting at people for the right reasons, I think that's highly.
I don't know how to have it,
It
but...
shows, when you have it, it shows that you care.
No, of course, not 100%.
It shows that you've got something inside you that wants to do well every single week. If you're cursing somebody for doing the wrong things, that can only be good. And see if you can't take that. Pick your bags up and go and put it in our spot.
You were quite like that as a player, to be fair.
I think it's maybe a generation thing where you're coming through, and because at Livingston, some of the players there that would moan, and then you start doing it. But again, I don't think you correct me if I'm wrong, but even in training, I don't think I've done it in a bad way.
No.
It was always like if somebody needed it, like if training was going poor, but I was also very critical of myself because you were all better than me. So, but so
When we were younger though, it was, let's say, 90% of the first team were like that, weren't they? And then now it's obviously modern day football, you maybe get 2 or 3 in a dressing room, but back in the day, man, see if you give away one boy.
Oh, it'd be a barrage.
Why
mate.
has that
just kill you
changed?
with it.
Why has that changed? Why is it like, I know generations of football change and obviously we're not this modern era stuff, but why is it that people don't want to question things or speak up a wee bit? Is it
I think it's just the way, it's probably more the way the game's coached now, isn't it? It's like your old school manager, we used to get the hairdryer treatment every single game at half time after the game, direct training. That doesn't really happen anymore.
You've got the video analysis now though, so they'll actually show a kid or show a player that this is exactly what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, whereas when we went past, they couldn't really have
I
that.
don't think the modern day manager wants people like that, does he?
What shouts?
Monos?
I know you do, but I think people with strong opinions, players
don't
with strong
think he
opinions.
was.
I don't think modern day managers like it.
I don't know if Brendan
Could be
Rodgers
wrong.
didn't like it, but I heard that Brendan Rodgers didn't really have it in his training. Didn't want players, but I don't know if that's just people talking shit. I don't know if he did. Because I can't imagine like guys like Vardy not nobody shouting. I don't know.
No, you like it
I
though?
think you're right.
Aye.
Yeah.
I think you need it. Of course you need the balance as well, but normally what comes with that is, just using Gowser again as an example, he's the first one. If Max Anderson does something wrong, like he'll have a go, but then he'll pick him up again.
Yeah.
As soon as he does something right, or he'll walk past him and say it's because of that, and that's just the way it was. And back, Sandy, the good one was when they come back. Some remember Big Roddy McKenzie come back. I spoke about that. Like, he used to be, I'll just say it, used to be an arse to us. And he was in the first team goalie when they won the cup and all that, and then he ends up coming back, and we were all running the dressing room with him, mind. And,
I said that one here before, didn't I? He was a prick to the young boys when I was coming through.
but then he come back as when we were all older, and it was just kind of right. There you go.
Who you talking to?
You're fair game now. Like you done it to us, so and we're really. You should be saying, well, he's more experienced. We should be showing him a bit more respect, but I think it works both ways. He didn't show us it, so.
Plus, I think younger boys, this was even back then to know, you remember the first team players that treated you well, regardless if they shouted at you, if they still treated you like a human being, treated you with respect. As you got older, you still looked up to this type of boys, but if they treated you like I told this story on here as well, when I was at Middlesbrough, when I first went there, I thought Barry Robson was the biggest bell end ever. See, after like 2 weeks, brilliant. It was just like that sort of first 2 weeks, it was as if you can handle this, like testing, me getting on you every single day, testing you as a character. And then after that, with a couple of weeks, he was absolutely brilliant with us. Whereas
you need it because you're going to go out there in front of thousands and thousands of people, and if it's that one, if you make a mistake or whatever, you're going to crumble then. If you can't take it, can shout it at training, then Kev's right, there's no point in going out onto the pitch.
That was Kenny McDowell's big one in reserves. You can't handle me shouting at you, how are you going to handle 60,000 shouting at you?
It's true.
True, innit?
Because the fans shout,
No wrong, is it, Simon?
No, he's not wrong.
wrong.
Nah. Right, we're ready, we're on to fucking an hour in, we've not even spoke about the game, do you ready?
Brilliant, no, innit?
That is brilliant. Right, Rangers second half performance, did that save their title bid?
Aye, I think so. I think it wouldn't be done, don't get me wrong. Obviously, they took it to 6 points with a goal difference, but I just don't see Celtic dropping many points.
No.
I know there's still 2 Old Firms to go, but you look at the sort of the games that they've went through over the last few weeks where you think they're going to drop points, your Livy's away, and they've obviously been on a good run. I think it's something like they've won 15 of the last 16 games, Celtic. So I think if Rangers lost yesterday, I wouldn't say the title had been done, but I make Celtic heavy favourites. And listen, Rangers, I think there's been a couple of times this year, Motherwell I mentioned, Dundee United I mentioned, where they've actually played quite well in the games and no one. Yesterday was the opposite. I thought the first half they were really poor. Ramsey, I thought, impacted the game a lot more in the second half and then managed to get the win. But to be fair, obviously I was happy Rangers won, but I did feel for Dundee because they were fighting for their lives and I thought they defended well for the most part of the game, but
just never held on it long enough though, did they? Dundee
the pressure told because you could sense it was coming.
Yeah.
Especially after the equaliser, so that was a big 3 points for Rangers.
That must have been weird for you. It looked like your bedroom or that toilet roll.
Just normal to me, that. Just normal.
Yours is
Crusty, but so
crunched up, innit?
yours wasn't scrunched.
The tennis boys as well. Seen you were on the front of Greg Rosesky last week, innit? He's boycotting this Australia trip, mate, I'm telling you.
He was ball for that, by the way. See, I just want to ask you a quick one. I know you were getting a bit of stick yesterday because you've just been honest, but see when you played against Celtic Rangers, was there a big difference you felt between the two clubs?
Just in the 4 games we played against them, it wasn't that yesterday I was getting stick for saying it wasn't a penalty yesterday, but the time before or the week before I got asked, like, out of both teams, who do you think are the better team? I says, well, I can only comment on the times we played them. Celtic battered us 6-0 in at Celtic Park when they get like that. Rangers came to the ends and Jason Cummins missed a penalty and we had double the shots in goal than Rangers that day, so I'm thinking we should have got something for that game. Celtic come up, they beat us 4-2, but again they were comfortable. Then Rangers absolutely battered us at Ibrox, 3-0 under Giovanni. I think it was Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's first home game, I think, or first league game or whatever. But so that was just my opinion on it. But
what did you feel the differences were between the teams though, the way they play? Was there a big difference?
Well, first, 2 different managers, so I think the Rangers one's a hard one to call because we seem to find a way to, that day at the ends we tried to stop the fullbacks high up the pitch, or keep the fullbacks deep, because we knew when they were getting high up the pitch they were killing us, and that's the way they play. They play a bit different now, but Celtic were just, and what I will say is the times we played Celtic, Kyogo's played both games. When I was in charge, I keep saying we, I need to stop that.
No, it's still we, innit?
But the games when our Dundee team played Celtic, Kyogo played, Jota played, but so it's that they were really strong, and they were. The first one was kind of a surprise because nobody knew about Kyogo.
Yeah.
And he just
scored the hat-trick, didn't he?
Aye, he was, and it was like, wow, like that day they were just relentless. And they start so fast, both halves, they come out and it's as if they try and just do you within that. But fair play to Rangers as well, even watching them yesterday, and seeing, like, that's why they're champions, and that's why this is going to go the full way, because it's no easy. They're off the back of a European game. They're having to travel to what you could say, you could see the pitch wasn't great. Like, in the way they're trying to play, and they go a goal behind early, but find a way to win. That's what they need to do. Yeah. It doesn't really, the performance now doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They've won the game. Won the game. But I don't know if I've answered your question.
No, you didn't. Thanks very much.
But Mark McGee's put himself in the team centre half captain now. You can't be getting penalties away as well. Is that a penalty, Ken?
No. Initially, Andy put in the chat, and I then my first look and thought it's a penalty, but then when he slowed back down, they were probably both giving it each, pulling each other's arms. In fact, it was like 8 or 10 feet high. Morelos wasn't even going to score anyway, or whatever it was the ball came in towards.
I didn't think he gets in the end.
So I thought he was too quick to point to the spot. Who was it, Bobby Madden?
What was Robert thinking, honestly?
So
That's what I was saying, the tennis boys, people were surprised. I was surprised with the snooker ball running about with a referee's kit.
That's why he grew his beard. That's why he grew his beard, because they knew that the tennis balls were coming. They didn't want to get his head in the ball.
Strange he kept trying to put them in his mouth though, and tennis balls. I don't know why he was doing
A
that.
few in, didn't he?
Kept stashing some in the toilet roll.
Again, the referees not helping themselves. Take a minute to have a look at it in the set. Like, I think maybe what didn't help was the Rangers fans were behind that goal at the time, so maybe the noise of the crowd maybe enhanced the opportunity to make a decision. But
See as well, but see when it first happened, Morelos and another Rangers player, I can't remember who it was, reacted very quickly.
I think that had a big impact on it, and only Dundee one that makes a gesture for the foul was Ian Lawler, the goalkeeper, so does that then play into it? It shouldn't really matter. Bobby's got to see it, or somebody's got to see it and make... Because if you're getting penalties for that, you're getting loads in a game.
But that's what you get when you get managers playing centre half and their brogues in.
Because initially when it first happened, my first thought was, what is Jordan McGee doing? Mark McGee then, sorry, because you could just see, for the first time, someone that goes in, he's got a hold of the jersey. You see the replay, it is soft, and the both of them are sort of a back and forth in it, but...
I'm surprised they're right with him playing and all, but...
I tell you what as well, I honestly... I know everyone says this after, but I fancy James Tavernier to miss a penalty. I don't know why. It's just because his penalties recently have just been inch perfect in the top corner every time.
Kind of slipped the last one before that as well.
I was thinking, I just don't know why. Maybe just because I was 1-0 down at the time, but I just didn't fancy him to score.
It's a bad refereeing decision, but it didn't affect the game because obviously the Rangers missed the penalty. So, but the Rangers were poor. But it's like you say earlier on, it's not about how you perform now, it's just about getting those 3 points. And when they got the equaliser...
No according to Big Ange.
When they got the equaliser...
That only last so long, performances...
I think they're coming after a European game, they're batting.
Yeah, that's right.
But when the equaliser went in, you knew that Rangers were going to get the second one. I feel that the second goalkeeper could have maybe just stayed put because, I don't know.
Goals kept doing that though, I've seen during the game.
Goals
and running into the box.
But goals is like past that empty.
Bit of character, mate. He wants to win, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I know, but would you have that? You wouldn't have that in your team though, because your players have to stay.
You don't want characters, do you?
No, I don't want characters.
You don't want
Try to sign the Falcon Direct team.
You were talking there about like no keeping the ball in the second half, kept giving it away too easy. In the first half, they kept the ball quite well. And
Gowser was on, wasn't it? I think Gowser was the one that was kind of taking it and keeping it.
And I liked the boy up front.
Rudden.
Was it Rudden? He was decent. I feel in the first half. A couple of good cross. The cross for the goal was magnificent. And then
Marshall's a big play for Dundee. You never really had him towards the end of your time. You had to play Cammy left back, didn't you?
Marshall and Ashcroft, unfortunately, Big Ash is out again, but hopefully he gets back quick. But had the two of them missing for months. And that's not an excuse, but when
big players for you,
better players, then you could be doing with them.
Mate, see if you're attacking set pieces, Ashcroft's one of the most aggressive players I've
him and Murray Davidson may just love header things, man.
He is the best in the world at the ball.
Just header fuck at each other.
He'd header Murray out the stadium.
Would he, mate?
Ash, telling you, I've never seen anything like it.
You were a good header of the ball, sir.
Nothing like him, but he
scored 7 or 8 last year, didn't he?
Maybe even more than that. Big in goals as well. Like a big partner's getting promoted. Great guy.
He's got the face for heading the ball, hasn't he?
I think he's headed the ball that much. His face looks like that. Like
just went beatroot in it.
Concrete heat, honestly. Like he didn't from one end of the pitch to the other.
I think Sweeney does all right defensively. Defends his 18-yard box well, Sweeney, didn't he? Where did you get him for, Jazz? Luton, was it?
No, big league got me him from. I showed you Mansfield.
Mansfield.
Aye. I remember the blue and yellow kit.
He does well.
But see what I will say is right. I sound like he's down. This show because I stick up for him all the time. But I've always hated the James Tavernier's not a captain type at Rangers. Just look at yesterday. Misses a penalty, doesn't let him affect him. The full second half, he's the one that's driving the team forward and constantly getting on it. So he showed what he's all about. Showed his marbles, didn't he?
What do you think about Ramsey? I don't think he was great on the ball, but do you know what? I like his enthusiasm. Brilliant to go and play.
I thought second half he made a big impact in the game. I thought first half he was quiet, along with probably the majority of Rangers team. But you look at every chance Rangers had in the second half before he went off. He was at
played his part.
I think he'll start with Celtic.
It depends if he goes away and gets games with Wales. That's going to top his minutes up again as well. But another thing on him, I mean, he just the runs into the box.
I know, that's what I'm saying. His enthusiasm to get in the box.
You're doing a lot of that just now. Like the goals you're getting, even the two last week. It's that just midfielders willing to run beyond. And
Bingham scored a couple into it, didn't it?
2 and 2 in it. And even Peter Haring's goal last week is just a midfield run away you go, and it's just kind of you're going. everybody wants to get on and play the ball.
As a midfielder as well, I've said this before, you should say when we spoke about old firm games, like Stuart Armstrong was the example I use. See, playing against somebody that's just constantly running you backwards.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to
It's
play
annoying
against.
for you, but
Aye,
then imagine
100%.
the centre-backs as soon as a
I know.
midfielder running and you've got,
Running
right, what am I got to do here? So, and it kind of went away for that for a wee while in my opinion, but now you're starting to see it.
Coming back.
Yesterday he done it so much.
On Tavernier's cross, that cross was like deep in Dundee's half-league in terms of like near the halfway line, diagonal into, was it Sakala headed it or Roof? One or two of them headed it.
Roof.
And for Ramsey to be there, midfielder, that you're expecting your number 9 to be there. But for Ramsey to be there, that just shows you he's obviously, because he's got goals in his career, hasn't he? He scores a lot for Wales.
Even at the header, didn't he? That he should he'll be annoyed that he didn't do better at as well, like, with making the box. And
then obviously because of the pitch looked dry more than, I think that was the problem, because there was a couple of times in the first half and out to Garland Bassey, man. I don't know whether he had a trampoline on his toe or not. One went under his foot, one bounced off it, and you could just tell the pitch was difficult. So you knew straight away that when you get in that early goal, it was going to be difficult. I mean, just to pop the ball about, but like you say, with Tav, just kept putting balls in the box, and you make defenders defend.
Celtic's the same, mate. They put so many balls.
That's what I was going to get to.
Celtic and Rangers put so many balls in the box.
Watch the highlights of most of the games at the weekend there. I see the amount of crosses into box with Celtic, Rangers. Who was the other one? I think it was Hearts. Hearts were quite a lot of intricate ones in behind. We slip balls and stuff. Making defenders defend.
Yes.
You keep doing things like that, you're going to get a break if you're willing. If you had players willing to get on the end of things and. Like, I hate saying this fucking word. First phase, second phase. Don't see the second phase.
That's not a word. That's 3, 4 words.
Whatever it is, the words. I should have said words plural. Sorry,
Thanks,
Simon.
Harry,
But the second, like when the defenders win the first one, Hearts kept picking up the second ones. Our teams picking up the second ones, and you're
getting penned in.
Yeah.
getting them penned.
Hard to defend
So
against.
it's hard to defend, but when sometimes you pass too much, you then allow teams to sit in, get set, and then it becomes really difficult. Whereas if you keep peppering crosses in from, and it's not just crosses from deep, it's like some of the crosses that the Celtic team are putting in byline. It was like that's. I just think that's how. If I got into coaching, that's how I'd make defenders defend.
Probably one of the most important goals of the weekend, Callum Henry's header.
Yep.
To get the one each for how vital that could be for their season. And you know, it's
What a finish, by the way. His header was good, but the second
Good
one
player,
was-
Henry.
Oh my God.
really
Famous
good.
dad calling in it. And favourite mum, Stephen Henry. She was always going to be a sportsman, wasn't he? My mum and dad.
Always
Like
going to be that.
that. Is Dundee away then? No, that's good, Jazzy. 4 points that, isn't it?
What do you think,
Away
Paul?
facing
I think
Johnston.
he continues his great start, Mark Lee, didn't he? Yes, I did. And I think he's superb, good on the big man. But no, like, listen, fair play to him. I mean, if he's obviously not putting himself in the team as well as you said, but I don't see it. And I've said this, and I'm just saying because I've said that. I think that the timing that you leaving was. This didn't sit well with me. I've said that in the past, didn't I? Just in case you think I'm sort of.
You've also kenned him as well, innit?
No, not at all. Listen, no way. Is it? No way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I never stick by my boys there. I think I think it's a bit too late for them now. I just don't get the. I couldn't work the appointment, and I've not seen. Yesterday, to be fair, I think the first half they showed signs that they were impressed and they were on the front foot, which was quick. But then I can't see it. Sorry, Si, for the big answer. But I can't see it, mate. No.
London's a good signing, eh?
Now we tried to get him at the very start when we got the job. Eventually got him in, but I'll go with the opposite on that if he's Slaney. I know you didn't want to ask me about it, but like, they've got 2 massive games coming up. They're home to Aberdeen. I think we beat Aberdeen at the end for the first time in something like 17 years in the league.
Right.
Dundee United after that, innit?
Dundee United away after that before the split. St Johnstone, they are home to Livy, then away to Celtic. So if you hope Celtic beat St Johnstone that game, which you do, then you're looking at Dundee need to take points for these next 2 games going into the split and then see what the gap is then. But you're right, they've got to show what they showed the first half yesterday and we're a wee bit hoping that. You're looking at, there is goals in the team if they can get it right. Paul McMullen's, there are only 2 people in the league with more assists than Paul McMullen. It's Barry Mackay and Tav.
Really?
Aye,
Wow.
in the league at the minute. So then that's the team that's bottom. So they get him firing, they get Zach scoring goals, Danny Mullen back, then I'm still holding on to a wee bit of hope.
Good man.
I've not seen that, by the way.
What?
Off, what was that?
That's why he's wearing shorts to show off his wee butterfly stitches.
I mean, that looks agony.
No, it's a lovely day, mate. Same as you. Get a short
Is Hugh Keevins had your doggy again? Needs to stop that,
Why is he
doesn't he?
doing that?
I don't know, mate. Can you
alright.
just let you stand up when he's doing it?
See, you go back to the DC yesterday, scoring that early goal. See, they're playing against somebody else like a Motherwell or like somebody round about them. Like, they might go on and win that game, but when the fact they're playing Rangers, they scored early. That like you're playing against like the champions of Scottish football. It's no easy to hold on 1-0 when you score that early. So had that been against maybe a St Mirren or St Johnstone or Dundee United yesterday, Dundee might have held on and got 3 points because they wouldn't have been under that amount of relentless pressure that Rangers threw at them. So I think they've got to take positive from the fact that they got an early goal. They could do that next week and go on and win and get 3 points, because when you're at the bottom now and the way things are, you're not needing that many wins to actually stay in the league, because the split will determine, it'll come down to the split.
But you know how St Johnstone win games as well?
Starting to do alright, St Johnstone.
I think St Johnstone will still win games.
They are, but
The split's a free for all, but the split's always the main one.
what you're going to find, the split is that there's some of these teams that could potentially miss out in the split by goal difference, whatever it may be, but they're miles away from being relegated. They might start getting some young kids an opportunity or whatever. You just don't know how the split's going to take. So there's all these kind of permutations that might happen. But
Permutations?
Kyle!
It makes it interesting, because we're going to have a battle for this top 6, bottom 6, and then the relegation is between St Johnstone and Dundee, but Dundee need to pick up points quick.
Brilliant.
The missus has been caught.
Who's caught?
He's a Texan accent. The missus has just been caught. Please.
No.
Please.
He's just caught her in bed with Sarah.
I'm not ready for it.
Sorry,
He's busting through the door. And he's got your sheriff hat on while he's doing it. He's got your sheriff hat on while he's doing it.
Because I listened to your text one back and it was actually better than what we gave you last week.
No.
So I want to give you the response you did.
You need to get what? You need to do. Mate, I think a lot of viewers do.
And Jazz has never experienced it.
Have you heard these accents?
No,
every week
Kev does accents, he's brilliant.
accents, right?
Mate, someone will be
So last week we got me to do this like a Texan fucking
The missus has been caught.
Sheriff Keith.
Sheriff Keith.
The missus is raging.
Come on, go.
The missus is doing somebody else something Batman.
Oh, Sarah's Batman.
Sarah's Batman with a fag.
But you came in the house and there's like dog shit off the guy's shoes leading all the way up the stairs.
He put dog shit in your badge.
Even if we did all that going.
You put dog shit in your bag.
He's mugged you out.
Come on, Keith.
He mugged you.
So I'll be is that you, Keith?
Oh no, it's Keith.
Yeah, that's me. What the fuck's this dark shit on the fucking floor? That's mate. That's New York, isn't it?
Fucking Keith.
Go on, Keith.
You're upstairs and his legs are wide open.
Oh my fucking god. There's a fucking red star facing me.
I thought you were going to look at it.
Oh, you like it?
You only should have. You're in the tub.
I thought you were going to go head first there.
Swiftly moving on.
Big Keith. Fucking big Keith.
Right, Rangers beat Red Star. They've now got Red Star Braga in the next round.
Yeah.
Is that the draw that they'd hope for? Definitely is. It's a great
Well, do you know
draw for
Braga were actually in Red Star's group? And Red Star finished ahead of Braga in the group.
That's right.
Red Star beat Braga once and they drew the other game. So going on that, it looks like Rangers will take care of them on that. Somebody doesn't work that, but they're fourth in the Portuguese League, miles off the three in front of them. 21 points, miles away for the. I think, but that being said, it's quarter-final, so it's no going to be easy. But I do fancy Rangers to beat them.
See when Rangers equalised, Red Star seemed rattled, didn't they?
They did, I shake.
Red Star ever been rattled like that?
See sometimes. See when you get rattled like that. It's unnerving, you know what I mean?
How do you can pick yourself up a bit though?
I don't know what you do. I think you just lie in a heat for 2 weeks.
Sometimes you just got to pick yourself up. Give yourself a wee shake.
Yeah, you'll do Red Star Braga then.
Red Star Braga, How the fuck have we went away for the Boca, the O in Boca, to my arsehole being a big Red Star?
Kildare Red Star's massive now. The Kildare Red Star. It's going around the world, isn't it?
What's happening with the friendly we used to?
Condone it.
Your boys are petrified. What is it?
Condone it.
What am I calling it?
Condone it.
That's it. Right, we need this friendly one.
Aye, we definitely.
See you on Thursday, right?
Oh, that's amazing,
Wee
man.
boy rocked up Thursday. What a player.
Is he?
What a player.
Who's this?
Who was that, Gary?
Condone it Thursday. Nathaniel.
Gary.
Is he
Striker.
good at what? Just different, just clever player.
Very good. Aye.
Oh, brilliant.
Just didn't let him express himself.
You're telling you what to do.
Don't try coach him.
Give me advice. What should I do with him?
Just let him express it. Don't involve him. Let him be.
Did I not get involved with him? Did I not try and iron out the bad bits? No.
I know, but you just don't want to be. You need to be very careful that you don't take it away from him.
Turn him into a robot.
Because I know you won't do that because you're big on letting kids express themselves and that, but just saying, just be very careful.
Right, Jazz, we asked the boys, could Rangers win this? Who do I get in the semi if I get through?
Leipzig. Leon.
Red Star Leon. Be honest, have you had breakfast? Do you have something to eat before you came here?
Dead guy.
What did you have? What did you have?
Okay, it's mum. Slice of toast.
What's your bomb?
Toast and bomb.
Toast and banana.
It's a steak.
Toast and banana. Oh, you're a hero, man. So I had to get who? Sorry, Leipzig or Atalanta?
Leipzig or Atalanta in the semi.
That's a tough draw, isn't it?
Aye. Braga's probably the best you could have hoped for the quarters. Beat Braga 2 years ago in Europa League and
they were better
beat
than
them
Andy.
over there. And this Rangers team's better than that Rangers team was. But
Anti-Dortmund as well.
I know.
Got a chance. Just get through this one and then see.
And the next league game is Celtic at Ibrox. Who are we fancying for that?
Uge, mate.
Uge, Terry Mendes game. Uge.
Uge.
I think
Wee
Celtic.
Desi, the king of the shit goal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's put McGowan, look.
They're sorry looking for you.
That's a mad. Well, could this decide the league? Celtic
If
won it?
Celtic win, I think they're at least done now.
Do you?
Yeah. Because that's
Wow.
that goes 6 points with goal difference and that'll be 7 points almost. So I think, but Celtic won't change. You know what I mean? Celtic are going to go there play
An attack.
play exactly what they play. But I can guarantee you, Rangers will not play as bad as they played at Celtic Park.
No.
I can guarantee that.
I think it's obviously a huge week. It'll be a huge week for Rangers, but what's more important? You know what I mean? Because they're humongous games.
I know you were saying about
Braga.
the league. I think I would rather win the Europa League.
Simon,
Same.
I know you said that back in the day, and the more I'm thinking about it, the end goal's the same, and the only difference is you win.
I think you get more money for winning the Europa League, don't you?
The idea of having 56 titles, whatever it is, if you win the Europa League, you're still going to get that Champions League guaranteed place. And
But Celtic fans still
More
talk about
money and-
Celtic fans still talk about when we went to Seville.
Rangers,
So-
Manchester.
Aye, so if you actually went on in that next step and won it, people will remember that forever, won't they?
It's not every year.
And you,
A Scottish team wins the Europa League.
my friend summed it up the last day. He's like, he's 40 years old, and in his lifetime, he's supporting Rangers. He's been to like Europa League Cup final in Manchester, and the potential to maybe get close to it again. Like that's big ask for like somebody the size of Rangers in the terms of the financial world of football to be doing that. So I think they'll go over Braga quite comfortably, and then obviously with Atalanta Leipzig, it's a semi-final, and I'm not going to say it's a one-off game because it's a two-legged one, but Rangers, you fancy Rangers at home to anybody.
Okay. What would you rather win?
Europa League. Like they won the league last year. I think it'd be different if we were sitting here and they were still trying to stop 10.
Yeah.
And they would say they would be desperate to do that. But to go in for a Scottish club to go and win a European title is great for Scottish football, let alone bloody Rangers. So no, if it's me, I'm wanting that Europa League.
Scotland's coefficient's fucking flying, isn't it? Absolutely
I
flying.
don't know. Is it?
Aye. Well, that's potential two
basically
passes in
because
Champions
of-
League 5.
It's because of
Of course,
Rangers.
aye.
It's because of how Rangers well have done in Europe last year and the few years past.
National
And
team as
obviously
well.
the
National team
doing well.
qualifying, aye.
That's why
Stevie
we
and
have
his
these
Nissan
two
and
Champions League opportunities. So
Absolutely flying, mate.
Brilliant. What a country, man.
But
What a football nation.
This Rangers Celtic game's biggest Old Firm game and
Ever.
no, ever
we see
not.
every single one of them come along.
No, this is the biggest.
If Kyogo's fit, does he play or does he play Giacomakis,
No, he
Paul
doesn't
Sloan?
play.
play
Doesn't play.
Giacomakis.
Giacomakis,
Play
aye.
Giacomakis.
Kyogo play off a side.
Off a side?
Aye, could do it.
What, and wee Desi Ferguson sitting on the bench?
Aye.
Do you think?
That'd be, well, just for watching Kyogo play against their Dundee team, I'm thinking
Do you think he's their best player, Jazz?
the way they play. Again, it's different if Giacomakis is playing through the middle, so it's no that. But the way he presses, like,
Is he rapid? Like rapid as I know when he's making runs in behind. Is
No,
he rapid?
he's
Like, sharp rapid.
Aye.
You know how there's rapid and then there's that sharp rapid where
is
they're
that.
quick over 10 yards, but if you hit him in a sprint race from touchline to touchline, most people would beat him. But that 10 yards,
I
is
think he would
just
still give folk a good race, like over the longer distances, but it's those first 2 or 3 yards where he just he doesn't even need. He can just go for still to away you go so fast. But a big one as well. If Morelos needs to come back and play in this one.
Aye.
Morelos, yeah.
He's playing somewhere in Venezuela, I think, on the Wednesday night.
They've got to just pull him, man. Palm, you're not
Right.
going.
So,
Aye.
Desi Mida's not going.
doesn't he
to-
Japan-
Every time he goes, he doesn't make the bench,
I
mate.
know.
Derek's pulled out of Japan squad, didn't he?
He needs to be on the
Derek,
pitch for
He needs to
the-
go on
that?
he needs to be on the bench with ice packs on him just to pretend he's no cutting it or something.
Aye, but Rangers need a
Rangers
fully
need
fit
to-
Morelos,
Aye,
don't
'cause
they?
that's
But it's an exciting game. Looking forward.
I watched-
Massive.
I watched it.
What will the Slains be doing that day?
We'll be going to it.
We'll be going to it,
I want
aye.
to go because I've never been to it since they took...
Ibrox?
Aye, I've never been since they took all the away support away, so...
Can you get them tickets?
No.
No, I don't want...
In the way end?
I want to be in there.
How many tickets is there?
I don't know, what is it now? What is it?
800.
I watched Celtic on Saturday night and my God, they were unbelievable, the first...
Relentless.
You were there as well, weren't you?
As I
Watching
said.
it on the media, but it was...
Who impressed you? Is he?
Juranovic. He is unbelievable. Who's the left back for Ross County? He was absolutely lost. And it wasn't really individually, but remember we watched the Hibs game?
Who is the left back?
Was it Randall?
Starting.
Randall.
Might have been. I've never seen that.
Aye, but you see the movement and Juranovic was coming away in, and that's the first I've really felt that I don't know what they could do to defend against that because they were sitting really deep. But he was coming in, Jota stayed wide. Then when it wasn't really, if they didn't get through or didn't what, then Juranovic would move again and somebody else would move. But it was all, you could see it was like
It was all in sync.
Brilliant and made as well. I know what you're saying there about Kyogo coming, but the way Ange plays and he's so big on pressing made it unbelievable. That on the ball and he needs to improve, but
He's basically a full-back playing up front, mate. While he presses in it.
and they see the wee dirty goals as well. Like brilliant. And then I've got a theory about teams sitting in an order. See when you sit in and you've got a target big striker, I think you can sit in.
Why? Because he just put Buzz in the box?
Aye. Do you know what I mean though?
And that's proved by his hat-trick.
And I think it gives Celtic a different... Sometimes we've seen when Kyogo plays, I'm not listening, I start Kyogo every week, but sometimes when you see it in
Apart
teams...
from this week.
Aye,
Or
next week.
next week.
Oh,
following
next week before, the week before, but on the game, sometimes when Celtic maybe at home, I think it was against Dundee United, they struggled, maybe Livingston the first game they struggled, but see when you've got that target man, it gives you a different way. You can play because they're still playing the proper way, but the crosses going into the box is very hard to defend against.
And if you're in that Rangers dressing room, you're hoping Kyogo's playing or not playing?
Ah, yeah, he's hoping he's not playing definitely, but
I'm playing come on.
I look at
Kyogo, I'm looking at it and thinking that at this minute in time and how well Celtic are performing, I think they could start with the strong team now without Kyogo and still cause Rangers problems.
Then bring him
And
on.
then to have that opportunity, if it goes say 1-0 up, 2-0 up, if that was to happen, whatever scenario, that would be the best case scenario, then Celtic would be fine. If it was to go the other way in Rangers, well, what a substitution to bring on and maybe give you that something different.
Aye. Because you know what it's like in big games as well, when you see somebody come off the bench, when you're fucked, you're
Does Giamakis up front on his own suit how Goldson and Hollander, if they were two playing, that would maybe suit them because that's maybe more their type of game in terms of the physicality of things. They might be able to deal with Giamakis better, whereas they don't want a Kyogo. So can you maybe, I don't know, I just think that, like Slaney says, too often in the past with Celtic, where when they've passed, it's great to see the teams sit back. Livy's been the best at it against Celtic. They've sat back and Celtic's found it difficult to break them down. But now with Giamakis, I think with the more games he's playing and the way... Like,
But Rangers are not going to play like that.
I know, but see his leap. See when they're out wide and they're putting balls in constantly, he's finding space. So even because Celtic's putting in balls constantly, the defenders are watching Giamakis. That allows the likes of Mida and other guys to get space for the second balls and things like that. So I think that Celtic have got options, but I totally get he can't be injured that length of time and can straight back and straight in because they played him that game against.
I think they're organising a friendly, don't they? Against Kinderrit 14.
When they brought him in for that the final, and obviously that ended up seeing him out for the time he's been out because they were trying to get him in and what have you.
He won them that final though.
Aye.
He was 2
And he
goals.
scored 2.
But
Can he come in and win that El Firm game and then
Aye.
was that the
Fucking
league?
hell, Jazza. Fuck off. It's not happening. but you're right. Do you bring him in
He
and
plays
starts the game
100%.
and he maybe doesn't make the 90 minutes, Celtic win the game, they're 6 points clear, 1 Firm left, the league could be done.
I still just get nightmares out of him, that's why I keep bringing him up.
But it's
Right,
great.
we're on to Aberdeen, top 6, huge 3 points for Aberdeen, 4 points off 4th, despite sitting 10th. Sean Maloney pointed that it was refereeing decisions that changed the game.
Sean Maloney obviously couldn't see our advertising board at the county. That was 100%
A red card.
a red card I've ever seen. Honestly, what's he watching?
That is a red card.
It's a
I
red
agree,
card.
it's a red card.
It's a red card. I don't think it's like, it's an obvious goal scoring opportunity, but it's the rules not to do with something that you can't give one and no the other.
Aye, so he's saying that, like, the rule is, if you make an attempt to go for the ball, you can't get double jeopardy, but I think
he still went for the ball, has he?
You can't just swipe somebody standing leg and say, I went for the ball.
That's a stupid rule, isn't it?
Man,
Anyone could kind of justify saying that I'm trying to get the ball.
I can understand his complaints about the first one, but I mean, it gets fired in. We were talking about it, and the shot gets fired in that quick. It's going to be hard for the referee to see it, but I disagree with the second one. It has to be a red card.
It's tough as well, because you've got to remember, he's probably getting that fed to him right away that
it's
hurt his knee, so then and he's got to then go out and to the media and explain the performance as well, and it's his first job again, and he has come under a wee bit of pressure, let's be honest, which in a massive club where the expectations are so high, similar to the club that Andy's at the minute, so he's coming out and he's just defending his players and trying to find that wee bit, which, and maybe when he looks back on it today, he might go, you know what, well, there's no way the referee, certainly the knee one, how nobody could see that.
No.
Unless you get VAR, but nobody could see that. And then the Porteous one.
So see, after a game, how long do you get to look at stuff like that before you need to go and speak to the press?
It depends what you want to look at, or what's in the game that you, sometimes you, like we beat Motherwell 3-0 at Dens, I was just quite happy going out and
no looking
doing
at
the press, no bothering, but maybe if something controversial's happened in the game and you know you're going to get asked about it, then you would want to see it first. So
Was it the Rangers game you would have got Bobby, mad,
Bobby sent me off, sent me off and didn't send John McLaughlin off. I wasn't even playing.
So did you look at the incident before you went and spoke to the press that day?
No, the mistake I made that day is I walked onto the pitch and Bobby was right, and to be fair I had a phone call with him because I wanted to apologise because what I was saying, but I still agree with my opinion on it that it doesn't matter now, I'm at the job. Jason missed the penalty. We could have got something out of the game in other ifs and buts, but to be fair to Bobby, he kept saying to me, I've got an assessor up there, I've got this, like, you need to walk away, you can't keep standing. And I kept questioning him, he said, I'll speak to you inside. And I'm getting, my job's in the line here, I want to speak to you now, and he just, there you go.
See, on that, like you said there, that Bobby's saying, like, he's being honest with you and saying they've got an assessor up the stair. I think that's right, the referees have somebody there every weekend watching them, scrutinising everything they do. Do you think we better maybe let them just go and ref and they make mistakes, look back, haul them up through the week and say, right, that was wrong? Because I feel like sometimes the refs are making decisions because they are being assessed.
Aye.
I think because they have to, because they'll be pulled up regardless. And I think sometimes you're better off, like we're talking about humans here. Humans make errors every day of the week. They're never going to get every decision right. They're never going to get every decision. It's just a case of, it's a human error. Whereas I feel like the referees in Scotland the past kind of few months, some real howler decisions being made, and they're being scrutinised. Why? Is it because they're under pressure from these guys up in the stands?
See, to be honest, Kev, I don't think it is. I think referees have made mistakes all the time. I think it's under so much scrutiny now because we've actually got a title race, and then we've actually got 8 teams going for top six, and we've actually got 2 teams that are proper battling for the relegation. I think every team's got so much to play for now that every decision is under scrutiny. You can see quite a lot of decisions that have came under fire recently. It's been a couple of them haven't really been howlers. It's been sort of if buts and maybes if it could have been, but it's just so scrutinised because there's so much to play for.
It means there's so much to on the line.
You played with Hibs, Jazz, obviously. Big job back for Sean in it for his first job. Would a semi-final on top 6 be a good start for him?
Yeah, definitely.
For where they were when he came in, like?
I think, look, what I will say is I think Jack done a really good job in there.
Yeah, he was good with you as well, wasn't he? Maybe
good. Tough place to manage, I'd imagine. Like you just let Hearts as well. Taking Celtic and Rangers because the other lads are better about talking about that than me, but to get in and manage it, the expectations at both Edinburgh clubs as well, they're so demanding. Andy was probably, he might tell me I'm wrong, but surprised with just how demanding even going to Hearts is compared to obviously Rangers at a different level, but Hearts and Hibs is hard. And then for Sean to go into that and know have the greatest starts in people's eyes, but you've got to give him time. It's his first job, he's a young manager, he's trying to get his own ideas across. I think having Paul Hanlon out for a while, that's no help. He's back now.
He's had a lot of injuries, hasn't he?
And getting him back in, obviously Porteous is going to miss another couple of games, but like, he's got a chance to go to the massive tie, a chance to get to Hampden and go and take them to a Scottish Cup final and still get into the top 6, so that a good season.
I think Goodwin will do well at Aberdeen.
Aye,
I think he's the
got
right
something.
type for Aberdeen, isn't he?
Do you know with Jim Goodwin, right? See when you get new managers come into clubs and you wait for them to make an impact on how they change or whatever, how they do. I think looking at Aberdeen Saturday, you could see there was a difference in their performance. I know getting down to 10 men helped them in terms of like they've got a man advantage, but they create some good chances. They've got some decent players, Aberdeen. They just need to find that formation and unity that makes them a good team, and I think that Jim will be that guy because he always talks very well.
He's got the right mentality to manage a club at Aberdeen, didn't he?
No, I like about him as well. Like he's had a couple of bad runs, and like I think that they didn't have a win in 11.
11, that's right, does it?
And then the season before it was maybe 7 or 8, and then the COVID season that they were fighting out at the bottom of the league as well. So he's had some tough times, but he always bounces back, and he always comes back and gets
Strong character,
gets it going again, and that's tough. And he'll need that at Aberdeen, obviously, with the size of that club as well. But no, he's really good.
Even going in what he's done with Bruni and just in that, wherever you go.
Because that would probably be simply just an honest conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas he said to him, I want to bring in my own staff. I'd love to still be a part of it as a football player. And Scott Brown's obviously looked at it saying that I want to move to the next step of my career. Honest conversation, shake hands and move on, which is what, as players, that's all you want from managers, on it. You just want a bit of honesty, and that's probably what that was. But honestly, I think the both of them, I think Maloney will get it right at Hibs, and I think Jim Goodwin will be a good appointment for Aberdeen as well.
What do you need, mate? Do you want us to go, or you can just go if you want?
You don't need to put your horn up, mate.
Are we still up, man?
No, we can go with it. It's fine. It's not that important.
It's like a sub, isn't it?
It's alright, you can stop before
Brilliant, Kevin. 2 games to split. Who do you fancy for top 6? So you've got the big 2. You've got Hearts who will finish third. After that,
Hearts, Hibs,
definitely a definite for top 6.
Hibs.
Hibs Dundee United this weekend, massive.
That's a big game, yeah.
Livy will get in there. Nah.
I think Livy will.
Aye, just
I would like to see Livy as a reward for Davy Martindale.
Yeah.
Because I quite like Davy in terms of there was no expectation. There was no expectations with Livy, and everybody's really. I said there would be relegation this season. I think a lot of other pundits said the same. And there he is, fighting for a top 6 place.
Oh, it changed when he got rid of that colour of chino that he was wearing.
Yeah.
Aye, but they need
Remember the dark days of them? I'm wearing the chinos on the side.
Had his libs on at the weekend again all day.
I was in the Championship that year.
Oh, were you? Sorry, mate.
No, they need to win this weekend though if they're going to do it. St Johnstone this weekend, then they're going to Celtic Park.
Livy St Johnstone this weekend?
Yeah.
So Livy need to win this game.
So that's a massive game for both clubs. Like you look at that, and they're out. St Johnstone at home to Livingston, then Livingston go to Celtic. So now they've went to Celtic and they've picked a point up before. Will a point be enough to get them top 6? I don't know, but I'd love to see them in it.
It's a brilliant end to the season, isn't it? Really so good. Much to play for with most clubs. So.
You said he came busting in the dressing room, Hearts dressing room, when you used to play music at the tap off, isn't it?
Aye, I know.
Chino's
done. I didn't understand what he was doing there, but he's
Hearts though, mate.
We're doing
Joy to watch just now. 14 points clear in third, 7 games to go. What a season for you boys.
I think the biggest thing for us was probably the most part of the season we've just been really consistent. Obviously we had that 3 games where Jazzers, Dundee beat us, St Johnstone beat us and Celtic beat us 3 games in a row. That's the only real blip we've sort of had this season. Then since that last game, I think that's 5 again unbeaten. So we're doing well. But we've still got a lot to play for as well. I know it's people are obviously saying third's done, but you can't think about that as
third's done, Andy. Shush. Third's done.
When you're a player, mate, you just want to get 3 points on a Saturday. We've got this obviously massive semi-final against Hibs, so it's been a brilliant season, but
cheers,
a bit to go.
Cheers. And Craig Halkett got called up for Scotland. You says Robbie Nielsen broke the news with Flower of Scotland on the saxophone.
That was some routine he done.
That was brilliant.
Do you know what though?
He got his hair cut out for it, didn't he? He had the kilt on Robbie Nielsen.
Jig was involved as well, wasn't he?
What was Jig doing?
Can't remember what he was doing.
Just
Let's play Jig's teeth. Piano.
I know you think I'm being biased, but honestly, it's so well deserved.
Best arse to ever play for Scotland, man. What an arse, Halkett.
I don't know, John McGinn.
Oh, John McGinn's got a good arse.
Got a fantastic arse, but another one for me, Barry McKay, I think is very, very unlucky to miss out in the squad. He's been, Wee Baz has honestly been on fire. I was Wee Baz at Rangers and had periods at Rangers where we were brilliant, but I think the form he's in the now, I think you could argue it's the best form he's been in.
Another guy must feel hard done by his big Ron Atkinson not getting an England squad. No. That's 2 assists in the last 2 games.
Brilliant, I know.
He's done well, hasn't he? He has done well.
For a guy that age, mate,
keep going. Best of fullback.
Me and Jazz were having a debate if he meant that the cross for the second one. But
big Ron, mate. Big Ron.
If he it's a terrible cross if he's no mentor.
Big Ron's meant that.
anyway,
What's he like about the dressing room? Ron?
Yeah, he's quiet. quiet.
Didn't you ever watch Big Ron Manager? When he goes into Peterborough and helps
Fry.
Steve Bleasdale.
What's that?
Oh mate, have you never watched that?
No.
Mate, go on YouTube with the Big Ron Manager. It's the best thing you'll
Do you
ever
know
see.
what's
the best thing you watch?
When you into the wrong dugout? Was that wrong?
That's it.
Aye.
Oh no, that was in the Premier League. He does
Was that the
that.
Premier League guy sat in the wrong dugout and went, he's doing with all the cameras and that. He's like, in the wrong dugout, Ron.
Do you know what's the best thing you're watching now? The real Cashmere with David Robertson with his
Oh,
team in
brilliant.
India. Oh,
Brilliant, man. He goes
that
off.
is
He's not
sensational.
It's really
And
good.
they see you in Ben McKay. Who would be in his position in Scotland?
Well,
Who's that in the squad?
they've just cut the boy. Is it Jacob Brown? It's at Stoke. I don't know anything about him. I've not seen him.
You're trying to sign him at Peterhead, Brown.
He's got another Brown in there. aye.
Scott Brown, Craig Brown.
Have you spoke to
12
him?
Browns.
He's
tough.
interested, I think.
But for me, Baz is get him in somehow, mate. I don't care
so
who it is that
Barry
he's coming
McKay,
in.
I
but
could watch him all day.
for how
Such
well
a
he's playing.
lovely
But
football player.
I think especially now. I think Steve Clark, he's had so many big games, so he's went with his Tushy squad, which is understandable. But this is too friendly, so it's maybe a chance for a couple of.
But do you think Steve Clark's looking for Robbie McKay?
Robbie McKay, the one
Maybe
that kept
that's
me
what the
away.
problem is,
That's
isn't
a great shout, actually. To be fair, it's
do you
know
probably
that story?
for him.
No.
Pedro Coutinho was calling him Robbie.
No, so it was like Pedro's second game. So it wasn't even his first game. He'd been there sort of 2 weeks. We were playing Kelly at Rugby Park. Oh, how that beast. It was 0-0, but shite. And the telltale that he was always going to make subs was he would come in, see the tactics board, he would just start writing the team. So you know he's making a couple of changes straight away. So he's wrote a team, couple of changes in there, and we've got a Robbie left wing, right? Well, I'm about that. We've got no fucking Robbie in the team. So he's done his full team talk raging that I was captain for the game just before we went out. I was like, who's Robbie? We've not got a Robbie. He's fucking Robbie. Pointed to Barry McKay, mate. We bashed like that. I'm Barry.
Guys, have you,
Amazing.
have you had any tussles with any managers that keeps reoccurring? Is he a manager?
No. No.
They're quite calm on the side.
All right.
For the most
No,
part,
he's quite fiery.
no, he's got fiery moments, but for the most part, yeah,
But I
they're
like
quite
that,
calm.
mate.
I had to calm down a bit. I was going a bit. Again, that was part of learning and I got a wee bit better, but me and Robbie are great mates. Not Robbie McKay, Robbie Nielsen.
I think Davey Martindale's brilliant on the side.
Aye, Davey's good.
I love him on the side.
But see, to be fair, when you got one of the first ones as well to phone us.
Was
it?
Aye, brilliant.
I think he's brilliant on interviews as well.
need to
Honestly,
get him on
brilliant.
here.
Aye,
How's he
he's
not coming on?
perfect for us.
Aye.
Do you think it's because
I'd
I'm on
love to
top
have
6
one.
he doesn't want to date now?
Maybe.
Have I ever asked him?
Never asked him.
Has any, I'll message him.
I've got his number.
I'll message him.
Nah, he's done great, but no long running tussles. No, at the end of the day, I get sacked. You've got to let go.
Talking to Olivia, said you were teammates back in the day.
Aye.
Good days.
Brilliant, I thought anyway.
Snoddy,
Loved it.
Dorans.
Who's the big character, Snoddy?
Snoddy just was bigger than the full.
Livingston.
Aye.
He was big back then, wasn't he, Snoddy?
He was bigger, but he's just
Was
as
he?
Oh, he was big, He'll tell you that himself, mate, wouldn't he?
just as a character, he was just the life and soul of the full club when he was 16. Mm-hmm. You talk about elder boys trying to take the piss out of the younger ones. They didn't do it with Snoddy because he just gave it back.
Aye.
Double
He's
wide,
too
isn't
quick as well.
Aye,
Too witty.
he could just.
Did any stories? He done pranks, didn't he?
Oh,
He used to be
mate.
amazing at pranks. What was the one you
hundreds and
told us on the way
hundreds.
home for Peter Reid? I'm sure you used to have prank they done.
He done
in
Colin
Scotland.
McMenamin.
Hugh Stevens is just texting you saying help.
You left
He's
him
done so many, but he done I remember. I don't know if you remember when he pranky called McMenamin, told me 1 player a month. So he told me to turn up at Hampden in a suit. He was getting a life supply of iron brew. Called McMenamin.
Must have lost his glasses, he spelt it wrong.
Fuck.
What have you done with his glasses? You never left him there.
So he's just done so many. The one with the boy Montgomery at Chef U was a famous
that
one.
Aye, that was
Wow.
good, isn't it? The Scotland call.
We got my phone sort of summed up as well. I can't remember who the manager was in England and told him that he wanted to meet him as the chairman of Dunfermline. Meet him in the Glasgow Hilton. He's sort of telling him a time. He's saying, right, he's got it on loudspeaker. Like, okay, Robert, I'll have to, okay, whatever he was calling his name at the time, but okay, I'll meet you at 5:30 tomorrow evening, right? And he'd bring your stuff and all that. And I genuinely do think the guy turned up for an interview for the Dunfermline.
Did he ever prank you?
He definitely would have tried.
He did. I think he got me, and I was halfway through, and I think that's you, Snods, innit? He just burst out laughing with that big daft laugh he's got.
But mate, we used to travel together, and I'm no joke, mate, it was every single day you'd be sitting there'd be a 5-second period of silence, and then you would hear his phone, like him ringing somebody through his phone, it'd be on loudspeaker, you'd be like, what's he doing? And it would just be like Domino's. And then like, can I get a 12-inch pepperoni, onions, sweet corn, tomatoes, and anchovies pizza, right? But he would just keep order for about 20 minutes, and then just like, you know what, mate, I'm not even hungry, man. What's the point of that? All the time, man.
He done well, mate, because I remember he went through a wee bit of a hard time at Livy, didn't he? Went on loan to Stirling Albion and look at him now, man.
Did you think he was going to go to the level he went to?
When he was younger, you can never predict he'd go and play like at that level, but and do so well for his country and teams in the Prem. But when he was really young, you could tell he was class. Like he was training with the first team when he was 14, 15 and like one of the better players. And then you go, like I think a massive thing for him was big league getting a hold of him and taking him.
Matthews.
Getting him down to Leeds and getting him. And Snoddy will maybe say that himself. Maybe I'm talking out of turn, but this is just my opinion. But he goes down to Leeds and he just, even when you talk to him now, it's like
different mentality.
And he's been great with me, like with the knee stuff and all that. He's had the injuries, so I speak to him quite often. He actually phoned me and says, "Will you wear my jacket on the touchline at Parkhead?" I says, "Aye," and they bother, get sacked for the week.
Oh, what, the Royal 11 stuff?
Aye, big boy, he got on yesterday on the telly. But he still sent it up, so cheers for that, Snod to him, but I never did get to wear it.
Do you remember Lee Matthews' first day at Livy?
Remind me, no.
So Mark Proctor was the manager at Livy at the time.
Was brilliant,
amazing. And Proc and Lee were pals for Middlesbrough days.
Right.
So Proc's obviously got Lee, and Lee's like an older player at this point. He's like, listen, I want you to try and look after this boy Robert Snodgrass. He's like, it's a bit of a head case, but what a player he is. He just needs somebody to sort of guide him in the right direction. But Lee was a crackpot and all. So Lee's walked in that first day, never met one player. He's walked into his change room. He's like, who's Robert Snodgrass? The boys are looking about, that's new sign. He's like, oh, he's in getting a rub. So Lee's just walked in, Snoddy's on the bed, right, getting a rub, face through the hole. Lee's just took the trousers down, sat in his seat, just like the biggest fart ever. His first day, Snoddy's just looked up. This new sign is just sat on his seat and farted on his seat on the fishing bed. Snoddy's like, what the fuck?
That's sensational.
Honestly, unbelievable. And then they two, for that day, they were best pals, weren't they?
Aye.
Obviously, to this day, Lee's his agent. They haven't together.
And then Jazzy, you two played together, didn't you?
That was a good dressing room, wasn't it?
Was that amazing?
I was shite on the pitch,
that
but
Mantola
I
was in
loved
it
that
as well?
year. It was a good year. Good, funny dressing room.
Gowser.
Gowser was funny. Jeebsy was there at the time.
Any stories for us? I'll just do it.
Can't make air getting lit on fire, but that's been brought up.
Greg Stewart, that was a great dressing room actually.
How good's Greg Stewart?
That's a good team, that.
He was
Brilliant.
he nutmegged me every day.
That was some team, that.
People
No.
used to ask me, right?
Top 6 we finished, mate. It never happened again,
know.
Dundee.
People used to ask me at Rangers, obviously big names like Ryan Kent and Morelos and that, and they would say, who's the best trainer? I say, Greg Stewart. Like, honestly, most days he was the best trainer.
He would just
because he's
you go,
finished.
fucking
He's
hell.
got any day as well.
His finishing is
Was he fitness
unbelievable.
or something, didn't he? Hard to say.
It's not even, I wouldn't say he was poor at all, but this sounds bad, right? But it's generally know what I mean. I'm not saying he's a training player, but he would do stuff in training where you'd be like, wow. Whereas just small-sided games when he gets more touches, he's no blessed with pace. But see in games, if he got space to get at somebody one-on-one, he was that sharp, like chopping inside.
He came us for Cowden Beef that year.
He was brilliant.
He was the best
honestly.
player. He was frightening that year, wasn't he?
Was really good.
Who was
Good guy
it?
as well.
Hartley, the manager then, wasn't he? Did he not deal with you that well, Hartley then? No,
not me.
No, you, but did you not really hit off?
That was my fault. I was fucking hopeless, mate. So.
Oh, you are, mate.
I was hopeless, mate. I was terrible. Really bad.
What was that? Why do you think that was?
Just shout.
No, but you won there. But
No, I was shite.
Attitude.
No, I wouldn't
Fat
say I had a
little piggy,
bad
weren't you? Fat little piggy at that point.
overweight.
Not good enough.
Not good enough.
I disagree.
I've only got a specimen of man here now, so.
Correct. I'm in better nick now that I'm
You're
when I
fucking
played
right,
Dundee.
because I tell you what, I looked at that interview with me and you. You'd curly hair, fat fucking belly. I've got worse, you've got better.
No, that haircut's it looks like Robbie Nielsen's hair. He's had his haircut as well, isn't it?
Aye, his,
It's the spray. The spray's fucking done wonders for me. I haven't even got a
You
ball
get me
patch.
some of that.
I'll get some for you.
Aye, and me.
It's
I'll be doing it
amazing.
on the side, but
I've had to
Don't
find
get the strandy stuff,
Boot
the
polish.
powder. Because see the powder, see when it rains, runs down your face, whereas the spray just.
Big Boy uses that 100%. He's got
Everybody
that
does. You just need to
polish
find the
about
right tone of your colour. You get in it's all fucking dark to blonde.
Right, so where are we going into here? Where am I going?
I don't know where I'll Google it.
You produce a good big man. Do you remember
ever argue?
administration days?
Me and Jazz?
Aye.
Did you ever argue? No.
Me and you?
Nah, training on it.
What was your time at Coventry like? Because obviously mine wasn't the best.
I loved it.
Did you? Aye.
Aye, genuinely.
You hate Coventry,
I
didn't you?
fucking hate them. I'm not gonna lie. Worst days of my life.
I loved it.
Wanted to fight with the fans and everything.
They didn't respect Big Keith, but they
No,
didn't.
I started too good. Scored my debut and it just went.
They hated
They hate
the
Americans, didn't
I don't need
they?
been there for.
Don't like
In the
Americans.
end,
Remember big Andy Harvey?
hey, what a man. Do you mean like Big Harv?
Oh, he was a great guy. No, he was the nicest guy there. Him and the wee woman that did the food.
Fucking Neil, you loved her.
And gone. I can't remember her name, but
Aye,
was
she
a nice
passed
wee-
away.
Aye. Did she?
Aye, not long ago,
Oh,
a couple of years
jeez,
ago.
oh.
No, Big Andy.
Was Kev Fortin there when you were there?
Aye. Madge?
Who?
Madge? What
Mate, honestly, Madge Bishop.
he could drink, couldn't he?
What? Boyfie Dublin.
So
Remember
he's
Sean
actually a big
Thornton?
club as well.
Remember
Sean
Thornton?
Thornton, aye.
His brother.
Good player, Sean Thornton.
Unbelievable football
So you
player.
just missed each other at
Just a
Coventry?
maniac. Aye. He was a
There's some good players, like, when you look back.
Turner. He's your big mate, isn't he?
big Ben.
Aye, Ben's what?
Mate, how good did he become?
I know.
I listened to his under the cosh, it was good.
He's
Story at Cheltenham was
just
brilliant,
doesn't
innit?
care, man. He's just like so chilled. It's like that team you'd Scott Dan.
Foxy.
Scott
He was-
Dan.
Foxy was there, right?
Dan!
Foxy.
Stephen Wright.
Oh, Foxy, what a guy. Danny Fox, one of the best.
Liverpool.
Aye.
Fucking was right.
I remember you FaceTimed him.
Big
The
Wardy.
Well,
we
what,
had
what,
the open goal day out. Record factor.
Gary Borrowdale.
Danny Fox.
Doyle. Michael Doyle.
Oh, Michael Doyle. Do you think Michael Doyle?
See, you know what? I go all right with him, but I can see why Slaney.
You hate him, man.
I actually hate him.
Slaney would compare him to Gowser, the way he
Yeah,
just
aye.
moans. But were you there when Page you?
Aye.
Were you?
Who, the Wales manager? How he still
AJ.
talks to him?
Oh, still your mate, got your tickets, didn't
Aye,
he?
Yeah, Welsh accent.
He banged Doyle, didn't he?
Aye.
Knocked
Did
him
he?
right-
Training.
Knocked him
We
clean
were
up.
playing
Was you
that
there?
day. No, I was there. We
I
were
was
training. And fucking Page had a bad something. Doyle was there, he's running his mouth and he turned around to Page and says, "What fucking kind of captain are you?"
The Irish,
You
the
right?
Irish accent.
"Oh, Pagey, what kind of fucking captain are you?" And Page went, "What do you mean?" And his Welsh accent.
He did it.
I did
Where
it.
is it?
He's never done both together. Wow, that's going to be
That's just
massive.
like Tom Hardy and Legend, you're playing both parts.
He says, "I want to fucking tell you, look at your own fucking performances."
Brilliant.
That's brilliant.
Page says, "What are you talking about? To me?"
That's Irish as well. That's Irish as well.
He says, "I tell you what, me and you down the valley,
Good,
that
good.
fucking square goal."
Oh, that's brilliant.
He's got it back.
Back to Irish. Keep it.
And you fucking Jesus, no. Bang. Knocked the 6 teeth out.
Right, now,
The Page only done up on his horn.
I think he broke his hand. Knocked his teeth out.
now pretend you're the sheriff that's came in and
I had to
arrested.
sort it all out.
So play a three-way
Like,
part.
fucking hell, guys, what the fuck's going on in here? I was
Tell a quick story, right? I'll talk about me and Jazz at Livis receiving. We went into administration, right? I was young, right? I can't remember the exact age, maybe like 15 or 16 or something. I remember I went to speak to quite a few of the boys, so I spoke to Jazza. No, because the club were asking us to take, I think it was 50% wage cut at the time. I was on 65 quid a week. So like, you want me going down to 30 quid a week? Fuck you what the petrol is every day. So I spoke to Jazz and he's like, just do what you feel's right for yourself. He's like, the club will take care of itself, get administrators coming in. Spoke to Big Cup Tie, he said the same. Spoke to Chris Innes, who was the captain at the time. Chris Innes, wasn't it?
Me?
No.
Aye, he wasn't the captain.
Well, I spoke to Chris Innes.
Didn't hear the service there.
But I spoke to him.
Never mind the captain.
I remember speaking to him as well. I was like, "Would you think?" He's like, "Take the wage cut." So I just take it. So I, look, the club will sort it all out. You'll get your wages back in X amount of time. Mate, left the next day.
He did.
He left the next day. I signed him to get the wage cut, and he left the next day. Big
Oh,
fud.
no.
So he's another one I've not spoke to since then.
How come you had
don't blame you.
to speak to Chris Innes after speaking to him and did you trust
Well, they told us to
that, innit?
obviously do
Pure
the right
that.
thing at the time, but at that point you're nervous as a young boy. You're like, am I going to be a footballer tomorrow? I might be going working elsewhere to get an apprentice or something. So I made the wrong decision.
Look at you now, young man. Cruising
Flying.
in third.
Absolutely flying.
Media darling.
When was the last time Hearts finished third?
2000 and
Their team would take your team now, surely.
They're a better team.
2006 was the last time they got to a Scottish Cup final and finished third. I know that, but I don't know the last time they
I
finished.
must admit, it's been an amazing season for Hearts. Buzzing.
Long way to go.
Not a long way to go. They're fucking 15 points clear with 21 to play. Who's taking that
Still
up?
get a semi, mate. Still get a semi.
Seriously.
Aye,
I got semi all the
Hearts,
time.
right? You know Hearts.
What have you done with his glasses?
Who?
Hugh.
You'll be stuck here and then they'll be able to see when you try to get it.
It'd be like that in your flat.
I swear to
I'm
God,
surprised he's left him like
it's my goal to get him on this show.
Who?
Oh,
Honestly.
Keevans would be brilliant, man.
He'd be brilliant.
Whose
on
dogs
here.
are you looking after? They're belters.
Jilly's mum and dad's.
Oh, are they?
Family dogs, aye, they're class, mate. Unreal.
Labradors.
No, dog.
No,
dogs,
they're
mate.
bigger than that. I seen that. I
French
seen that.
Mastiffs, man.
Are they French Masters? Big have you got
massive.
big boys? Have
No,
you
it's
been
two
whipped up?
lasses. Betty and Wilma.
Oh, is it Betty Mama?
They eat my Labrador, man.
You don't like dogs?
Labradors, but
You hate
Labradors
dogs?
are
Don't
unreal.
like dogs.
Do you know that?
I know.
Don't see the point. just don't see the point.
But there's companion.
Because you can't eat them.
Take the dog down to the pub. All right, mate, how you getting on?
Oh, dead dog accent.
Yeah, French Mastiff, go.
Let's get the fuck out of here. French dog.
Jazz McPAKE, cut me down the horn, what a guy.
Cheers for having me on, guys.